team's best season in more than a decade. Now, both sophomore star quarterbacks enter the final 5-game stretch with their respective teams in first place, but with both relatively unproven in these types of games. Over the next month, December football, it gets tough. It includes the first NFL matchup between the two 2 weeks from today in LA, and that will be something. Tomorrow on Today, the dirty truth about those makeup counters at stores across the country. Are all those free samples spreading germs and putting your health at risk? Tomorrow, an undercover investigation, only on Today. Great champions here in Pittsburgh. They open a Hall of Honor, and many of those faces need no names or jersey numbers. Steeler greats honored at halftime. Al and Chris have the second half when we come back.
This has been the Toyota Halftime. Let's go places. Tuesday. Tonight's first half highlights are brought to you by Chevrolet.
Stand up and cheer, stomp your feet, start clapping. NBC Sunday night about to happen.
A little shovel pass for the touchdown. Xavier Grimble in for 6. Deep downfield and wide open is Randall Cobb for a touchdown. Jamal Williams out in front, a Green Bay touchdown.
This has been a stunning start so far.
To the end zone, caught for the touchdown by Martavis Bryant.
Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs.
4 touchdown passes in the game. Locked up 14-14 at halftime at Heinz Field. Numbers for Hundley, only thrown 9 passes, but completed 7. 2 touchdowns. He had 2 TDs in his previous 6 games. The numbers for Ben, hitting 68%. 2 touchdowns for him, and 1 interception. Meanwhile, Jamal Williams, a 54-yard touchdown catch, longest scrimmage TD by a Green Bay rookie in years. The numbers on Brown and Bryant. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoya. Speaking of Michelle, here she is.
Well, Mike Tomlin, usually a man of many words, had very few at halftime, saying, we have to play 60 minutes. That's our job. We don't define ourselves by 30 minutes of football. We've got to keep playing. As for Mike McCarthy, pretty happy with Brett Hundley and the offensive balance that his team had in the first half, but he pointed to some key mistakes on third downs, conversions he said they're going to have to make to sustain their offense in the second half now.
All right, Michelle, Green Bay starts with the ball here, and this is Trevor Davis bringing it back up to the 25-yard line.
Very nicely done by Brett Hundley in the first half, and he learned his lesson. Under pressure, he had to learn how to step up into the pocket. A week ago, he just simply would run wide to the right and try and make a play, and it didn't work. Now that he's stepping up into the so-called B gaps and then making decisions, looks so much better, and you'll see his throwing motion. There's a little bit of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers in him, both feet off the ground often when he throws the ball. So, as he put it, they have a pretty good quarterback school there in Green Bay. I was thrilled when I got drafted there.
Oh, yeah. Pretty good mentor. Rodgers, you got McCarthy, Van as well. Big hole through the middle and a 9-yard gain there for Jamal Williams, who would have been number 3 on the depth chart if the other 2 guys hadn't been hurt. Ty Montgomery and Aaron Jones, 2nd down and 1.
I tell you, this run game has been looking pretty good too. Watch Lane Taylor come around on the power to the other side. Ripkowski, another good block, and we've seen Jamal Williams. He is a sort of a one-cut, the old Denver Broncos kind of runner. You know, he's a big guy, physical. He doesn't weigh 230 pounds, but he runs big.
40 yards rushing and 59 receiving tonight, and this time no gain here. So it's 3rd down and 1 on the opening drive of the second half for the Packers, to come into the game with a record of 5-5.
You know, the biggest thing that Mike McCarthy has to figure out an answer for is they cannot pick up these slot blitzes, and a lot of people have trouble when they play Pittsburgh. But we have seen Mike Hilton, number 31, in the backfield, making that tackle and making many plays here tonight.
Load up the right side of the line on 3rd down and 1. Give it to Williams. Finds the crease. 3 runs for the rookie. Out to the 38-yard line he goes. First down.
Look at all the extra beef over here. 2 tight ends and an extra tackle on the outside. That's 74 Ulrich John. And so they look like they're going to run inside and just simply jumps to the outside. So McCarthy doing a nice job protecting Jason Spriggs, his right tackle on that side.
Fullback is Ripkowski. Off play action. Sends it back to Williams. And Williams escapes the tackle and gets the ball out to the 45-yard line. Shazier able to get him there after he broke away from Artie Burns. Gain of 7.
For as great a year as it's been for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they've had one issue, believe it or not, it's missed tackles. Now this team is so fast and they hustle so much that oftentimes they can cover it up, like the speed of Shazier there to come back and make the play. But too many times this year they have missed the initial tackle.
And that's odd because they're number 2 in points allowed, 4th overall. So everything else working. Cobb is in the slot, fake toss. Hundley rolling and then throwing and throws it into the bench. Nobody open. Incomplete. 3rd down and 3 now.
Well, Mike McCarthy, you know there's nothing he would like better than to come back into Pittsburgh without Aaron Rodgers and somehow sneak out of here with a win. One of the things that he's been able to do in this game is establish a running game, which lets his young quarterback set up play action, set up bootlegs. Now let's see if he gets back there, steps up and through one more time and makes a play with his feet.
He's speaking into Hundley's helmet. He had a lot of information to dispense right there. And the play clock was down to 1, so Green Bay has to take a timeout and not make it a 3rd down and 8.
Well, let's take a look at Brett Hundley. We measure quarterbacks release time all the time. There's the tracer, nice tight release, no excess. His time, I would guess, is pretty good. Yep, 0.32 seconds. And pretty consistent with that. And watch his feet. They're off the ground. And if you know Aaron Rodgers, if you know Brett Favre, you know that they lived with their feet off the ground. Why do you do that? Quarterbacks get hurt when people roll up on them after they've made a pass, so they've sort of trained themselves to throw the ball. They all had such great arms, they can throw it doing whatever they wanted to do, so they did it jumping in the air.
Exactly. 3rd down and 3. Ripkowski is in the backfield. Hundley, shoulder shake, and breaking free down the sideline is Devontae Adams. Cuts it back to the inside. Devontae Adams into the end zone. So Hundley, who had 2 touchdowns in all of the games he has played in Rodgers' absence, 3 tonight. That's 55 yards and another big scoring play given up by the Pittsburgh defense.
Watch the old hesitate and go right here. Man coverage on the outside against Cody Sensabaugh. They have been setting that up all night long. Just when you think that all you're going to get out of Hundley are those short throws, he throws one over the top on a chilly night. He learned a lesson last week in chilly Green Bay that you have to throw it a little farther. He did. How about Brett Hundley and the Green Bay Packers? This is amazing.
2 touchdown underdogs, and they're up by 7 early in the 3rd quarter. Wednesday night, NBCSN, 7:30 Eastern time. Tampa Bay taking on Boston. Wednesday night rivalry. Lightning were in town here last night. Were beaten by the Penguins. Lightning Bruins hockey Wednesday on NBCSN. A couple of yards in the end zone. Taking a knee there is Bryant. And back we go.
Well, if you're going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have to stop number 84, Antonio Brown. How do you do that? A little underneath and over the top coverage. They've been trying to disguise it all night long, but that allows that underneath guy to simply trail and play any move that he has. So what has to happen? Somebody else has to step up and make a play, and so far tonight that other somebody has been Martavis Bryant, but it is Antonio Brown who consistently draws the double teams. You know, you don't have to guess who the best players are on respective teams. You just watch the tape. Whoever's getting double teamed all the time, that's who it is.
Brown 4 catches, 74 yards on the ground now. Hopping and skipping his way for a gain of 4 is Le'Veon Bell. They've been able to keep him pretty much in check. Leads the league in rushing. 11 carries tonight for 45 yards. What a night for Hundley.
You know, and it was interesting. We asked him about, all right, give us the moment when you saw Aaron Rodgers on the ground and you knew that you were going in. I said, I'll be honest with you, my heart was beating 1,000 miles an hour as I went in there. But it's the difference between Hundley tonight and last week, night and day.
2nd and 6, and there's Bell getting away from a would-be tackler or two to the 40-yard line. First down.
Well, you just take a look at this. If you're playing defense here, you've got to fill all these gaps, right, with somebody, and then you just have to sit there. And that is counter to everything that a defensive player thinks, has been trained to do. They want to attack. They want to go get the ball carrier. And yet if you do that against Le'Veon Bell, he's going to jump cut you and go in some other hole.
Slide to the left as he did there. Here he is again. Picking and threading for a gain of 3 before he's pushed back. 2nd down. Let's call it 2nd and 6 after a gain of 4 as Haley calls in the next play.
Yeah, and there's always a little conflict between the receivers and the quarterbacks and the running backs and the head coach and the defensive coordinator. They like it when you run and you run some time off the clock. All those sort of things blend in to any football team. But if they get Le'Veon Bell going and Ben can go play action, this team's nearly impossible to stop.
Through 40 in Tennessee a week ago Thursday. Now Bell for a gain of 2. So it'll be a 3rd down and 4 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 5-game winning streak for these guys and an 8-2 record coming into the game tonight.
Well, here you go. You're going to get Morgan Burnett coming in late, number 42, and watch him play like a linebacker in there, completely one-on-one against one of the best backs in football. And boy, have they missed Morgan Burnett. So happy to have him back. He is the main communicator on the back end for the Green Bay Packers.
Missed 4 of the last 5 games. Again, joined us late without Clay Matthews tonight. As the pass is caught in Green Bay territory by Martavis Bryant. Good grab to convert on a 3rd down and 4.
It's a big first down, but you finally get one-on-one coverage on the outside against Antonio Brown. And I don't think he's going to kick over the Gatorade bucket again, but he might. He knows how rare that occasion is, and Ben just did not see that opportunity.
Ball at the 44. Roethlisberger over the middle. Bryant. And Martavis after a short gain, so he has now caught 4 tonight for 39 yards. 2nd and 8.
There we go. How about that combination? Neither one of them's ever thrown a pass with their feet on the ground. He looks like no big deal. Like, you know, yeah, we do this all the time. But this would be a moment, wouldn't it? This would be a moment for Brett Hundley if he could come into this stadium and knock off the red-hot Pittsburgh Steelers.
It would be stunning. 2nd down and 7. Bell swings to the outside before he is forced out of bounds. We have a flag. Blake Martinez forced him out. And Ed Hockley is our ref tonight. Hear from him for the first time in the 2nd half.
Offense, number 53. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Call it on the great center, Marquise Pouncey.
Well, you get Pouncey come all the way to the outside. Now let's take a look at that. Sort of hook that helmet. Brooks did a good job of selling it. You know, it's not exactly soccer, but you're going to get some of those flags. You better be a pretty good actor as well. And Mike Tomlin is acting mad right now.
And you saw that graphic. No penalties tonight for the Green Bay Packers.
And no sacks for either team.
Yeah. Hundley was sacked 6 times last week against Baltimore. 2nd and 17. Tipped in the air and intercepted. And that is Blake Martinez who hauls it in. And Green Bay will have the ball at the Pittsburgh 45-yard line. Roethlisberger throwing his 2nd pick of the night.
It's just a great job by Ahmad Brooks. As soon as he sees Le'Veon Bell sneaking underneath, what does he have to do? He's got to get his hands up and makes one of the biggest plays of the game so far. Really good athleticism for a long-term veteran in the league, but those guys can smell those screens coming.
Roethlisberger had 5 interceptions against Jacksonville in week 5 and 5 total in the other 9 games. Now 2 tonight. Martinez having a heck of a season, and Green Bay has it at the 45.
14-point favorite, huh?
That's what they tell me.
Wow.
And I would know. 45. We're just staying abreast of everything. You're not. Right. 8 of 6 for Jamal Williams to make it 2nd down and 4.
Let's take a look at this touchdown pass one more time. We've talked about it so many times. Watch Hundley's feet. Neither foot on the ground as he makes a throw 50 yards down the field. He was telling us that it's the first time he'd ever really played in cold weather last week, and he learned that you got to throw it harder in cold weather. He kept underthrowing the ball in the deep balls.
Give it to Williams, and he will get stopped about a yard short of the 1st down. That's Vince Williams with the low tackle, 3rd and short.
Yeah, you just don't think about it, but a young quarterback out of UCLA, there's Brooks, who came up with that big tip there and a couple big plays in a row. But a young man that plays for UCLA, perfect weather, right next to your house, right next to Bel Air Country Club. Life is really grand. Everything's good out there. You come to Green Bay, and it ain't that.
No. Chip Kelly, of course, taking the UCLA job. Meanwhile, look at this. You got a 3-man stack to the left side. Bring Williams back into the backfield, give it to him, and he has enough for the 1st down and a few more. Working his way to the 30. You know, Hundley walks into our meeting last night, hadn't met him before. You like him. He's confident without being cocky or arrogant.
He really was, and he's just been so impressive. Watch this guy right here. Never gets credit for anything he does run blocking. One of the better pass blockers in the league. But David Bakhtiari just stayed that time with Hayward and just kept pushing until they end up with that 1st down.
You feel that confidence building right now. Up by 7. Have it at the 31-yard line. 5:45 left in the 3rd. Off the fake. Stepping up. And then down he goes at the 36-yard line. Could not escape. L.T. Walton was in there. It'll be 2nd down and 15.
Well, you talk about a well-coached football team. L.T. Walton, a defensive tackle, defensive end, on a loop's going to come around out here and contain one of the more athletic quarterbacks in the league, and that's what set up that sack on that bootleg. That is just great coaching, great playing by L.T. Walton.
1st sack of the game for either team. 2nd and 15.
Now very much on the edge of field goal range as well.
Just do get it off, and then it's over the middle at the 30-yard line, and Nelson cannot hold it in. Covered by T.J. Watt. 3rd and 15.
Are you kidding me? An outside linebacker against Jordy Nelson is going to make this play in coverage? Are you kidding me? That's fantastic. Unbelievable. And really, the days of outside linebackers in Pittsburgh with 12 sacks may be gone because they ask those guys to cover so much now. That was great.
Pretty good bloodlines, the Watt family for the JJ. 3rd and 15. Hundley under pressure, and they're going to get him at the 38-yard line. Cam Hayward knocks him down there, so it'll be 4th down. Of course, Crosby is one of the best in the league, but you are looking right now At about a 58-yard field goal attempt.
Pressure the other way. Cam Hayward one-on-one against arguably the best pass blocker, least the tackle in the National Football League, and he makes a sack. Amazing.
57-yard attempt. Tough to kick him here, but at least there's no wind tonight. Didn't matter. Not even close. Of course, what that means now is that Pittsburgh is going to get the ball near midfield. Green Bay up by 7. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Toyota, let's go places. By Walmart, rock this Christmas with Walmart. And by State Farm, here to help life go right. Yesterday, Western PA Class 1A Championship. Jeanette Jayhawks beat Amani Christian 35-34. So the Pittsburgh Steelers have the ball at the 47. You got to look back at that attempt, a 57-yard attempt at a stadium which has the lowest rate of 50-yard field goals in the National Football League since it opened in 2001, only 35%. League average over that period of time is 62%. Bell gets away from Martinez and then picks up 13 yards and a first down to the 41-yard line. Kevin King makes the stop there with 4 minutes to go in the third.
One thing Dom Capers knew his guys would not be able to do. If you have Le'Veon Bell in open space, nobody ever makes the tackle. Nobody. I mean, Martinez, arguably their best tackler on this team, and he got about a half an ankle. Is that a stat?
I thought it was more like 3/8, but we'll go with a half. From the 41-yard line. Bell swinging to the left and then thrusts forward for a gain of 3.
Well, there just isn't anybody better since 2014 at making people miss. It doesn't matter if he's running the ball, if he's catching passes out of the backfield. He is the most elusive of all running backs. And throw on to that the fact that he's a relatively big guy. A big guy that breaks arm tackles all the time. And it's tough. Tough to get him down.
6'1", 225 is Bell. There's the play fake. Ben sliding to his left. He's going to take off and pick up a first down, getting to the 28-yard line. He's chased down there by Mike Daniels. Another Steeler first down.
Well, they're doing a good job of taking Antonio Brown away with these safeties rolling over the top of him. Artavis on the other side against Green Bay Packers. He was trying to get across the field, but the protection just so good. I mean, this is a very, very underrated pass protecting football team in the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the first half, almost no pressure at all. 4 out of 27 snaps was Ben under pressure.
And this time, no pressure there either. Bell swings away from Clinton Dix and then gets tripped up at about the 15-yard line by Martinez. But not until he picks up another first down. Gain of 15 yards for him.
He is a hypnotist. Watch what happens right here. And then as the safety comes up, Clinton Dix, one of the best tacklers in football, no question. Really didn't even touch him. I mean, that's unbelievable. You give him 3 or 4 yards of space to turn around and see who he's attacking. Almost impossible to get him on the ground.
Minute and a half to the end of the quarter. Ben again. Lots of time. Throws. Pulled in by Brown. What a catch. Covered there by Devon House, and that sets up a first down and goal.
You know, I'd say it's incredible, but I've seen it so many times it's not so incredible. Last time we were in here, he caught one against his helmet. Special player.
Ben rushes him to the line and slows it down. Didn't want Green Bay to substitute. First and goal. Throws to the corner of the end zone and incomplete, but a flag comes in. So that time it's House on Bryant with the flag thrown.
Pass interference, defense, number 31. The foul occurred in the end zone, so the ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
Yeah, pretty easy to see that Devon House had that jersey hooked in his fist. And now that incredible 3-play defensive stand by the Pittsburgh Steelers, the decision to kick that field goal, and the Steelers are taking full advantage.
First Green Bay penalty. Meanwhile, Demarius Randall is on his way to the locker room, so they're minus their defensive back who had an earlier interception, and Roethlisberger is now going to throw a fade into the corner, and Brown is there for the touchdown. Beats Kevin King.
So their best cover guy, Demarius Randall, is gone. They put in a one-arm Kevin King, who has a bad shoulder, who really can't attack Antonio Brown because of that shoulder. And now it starts to be pitch and catch as Antonio Brown does his typical Sunday Night Football thing.
Almost unfair in the matchup. 6 catches now for 86 yards. Boswell, who missed an extra point after their first touchdown. They got the 14 on the 2-point conversion. Now for the extra point, which would tie the game. Perfect. 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter in Pittsburgh. Good one. 21-21 on Sunday Night Football. Wednesday here on NBC, Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Olivia's secret is finally revealed, and you will see it Wednesday night right here, 9 Eastern and Pacific, 8 Central and Mountain on NBC. Terrible towels waving by the thousands. Green Bay with a touchback, and let's go back to that defensive sequence, partner.
Yeah, they're in field goal range. They've got the ball first down and 10 on the 31-yard line. Bootleg, LT Walton, great play, makes it. Next great play, TJ Watt in pass coverage against Jordy Nelson, and then Cameron Hayward, who has never been to the Pro Bowl, remarkably, now with his 8th sack on the season. That was something special. And then it forced McCarthy into a decision on that field goal, and you wonder if frustration may have been a little part of that.
I would think so, because it's a good point, because he goes and tries a 57-yarder at the hardest place to kick a field goal in the National Football League. Albeit it's dry tonight, not windy, but still 57 is 57 from the 25-yard line. And now Pittsburgh with all the momentum. Mike Hilton leading the charge there. Williams dropped for a loss of 2, 2nd down and 12 as the seconds tick down to end the third quarter shortly.
Well, you get the slot blitz and you get this big stud, Cameron Hayward, on the outside. He is on the left side of Lane Taylor, works his way back, but once again, Mike Hilton coming off the hedge. Cameron Hayward, it's unfair that he gets measured compared to 4-3 defensive ends who get to work the edge. His is so much harder to get sacks, and yet year after year, a real star. 2nd down and 12.
Hundley throws into a lot of traffic, and that is incomplete. Richard Rodgers, the intended receiver, just as well that it was incomplete. It's 3rd down and 12.
Well, that time they basically had a spy on everything else, and there's Aaron Rodgers, and there's nothing you can do to train a young quarterback for being in Pittsburgh. Terrible towels waving everybody, and he's got to learn a new trick. There's Hayward sitting in there on the spy on the tight end screen. That time
Cobb comes into the slot.
Coming.
Nelson wide to the left. Hundley under pressure. Sacked at the 19-yard line. Cameron Hayward, and that takes us to the fourth quarter, which will begin with a punt and to 3. It's 21-21. Sunday Night Football resumed after these messages. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by Geico. Beautiful architecture. Downtown Pittsburgh, PA on this Sunday night. Temperature in the upper 30s and a good ball game. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoya. 21-21 on Sunday Night Football. But right now there is Brown setting up to run back the punt. Justin Vogel with his third boot of the night. Brown waiting, and the ball's for and makes the fair catch at the 35-yard line, and a flag is down back at the line of scrimmage. It was 4th and 16. Ockley looking over to the Pittsburgh sideline.
Holding by the kicking team, number 22. Pittsburgh is elected to enforce that foul from the end of the kick. First down.
Fascinating strategy in this one. I think you really nailed it. The longest field goal in the history of this building, opened in 2001, was 53 yards. Green Bay tried to kick a 57-yarder and came back and burned them.
Well, and one of the things that Bill Belichick will say about playing the Pittsburgh Steelers is you can't let them get going like that. You can't let them jump around and celebrate sacks and get this crowd into it and the terrible towels and the whole thing. And you could just feel how that changed the football game.
On a dime. And now they have the ball near midfield in a tie game. And Ben starts here. Hand off to Bell. Breaking tackles. 14-yard gain. And for Bell, he's closing in on 3 figures. 16 carries tonight. 81 yards, averaging better than 5 per tote.
Al, they've been trying to keep these safeties deep and protect and double team against Antonio Brown, but you can't stop a fullback and a running back like Le'Veon Bell by playing 2 deep safeties. So now what are your choices? You bring one of those safeties down, and now you're in single coverage against Antonio Brown. It's the dilemma every defense faces.
Rosie Nixon at fullback. Bell again. And gets taken down at the 40-yard line. Mike Daniels right there. We go to Michelle.
Well, Demarius Randall went back to the locker room. He is questionable with cramps. You talked about him not being in there on that last Pittsburgh touchdown. Cramps, questionable. We'll see if he comes back out still in the locker room, guys.
Yeah, a key part obviously missing. Missing Clay Matthews already tonight. Inactive Kenny Clark, nose tackle, having a great year. So House is in there. And they worked on him on that last series successfully. 2nd and 9. Bell again, spinning, and the ball is out. And the Packers think they have it as Le'Veon Bell fumbles and Martinez comes away with the trophy. And this would be the 3rd turnover. If it stands, and pretty clearly it should stand.
The ruling on the field has been reviewed and it stands as called. Green Bay's ball, first down.
Very, very close, but the ball's coming out before his shin or thigh goes down. There's the ball starts to come out there. He tries to recapture it, but never has control of it before it hits the ground.
Yeah, Daniels gets it loose, so it's loose right there and coming up, maybe back in control. And you have to say, is that shin on the ground, and it was also bang, bang. It didn't surprise me that it stood.
Play fake, and then the pass is errant, intended for Devontae Adams. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It's really a good play call, and you need Hundley to hit that pass. That one was play fake, had him wide open, would have been more like 2nd and about 3. And now here come the towels again.
2nd and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Empty backfield, so this will be a quick throw. Watch for the Steelers to get their hands up and try and deflect the pass.
One of the few times they have gone empty tonight. Only fires over the middle. Dangerous pass. Shazier almost picked it. Intended for Rodgers. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
I'm not sure there's been a faster linebacker in the National Football League's history than this guy. Watch the break on the football by Ryan Shazier to make the play. That is pretty. We have seen some great defensive plays here lately.
Crowd rising as one. Tens of thousands of towels waving. 6 defensive backs in here on a 3rd and 10. Hundley fires and way too high. Intended for Adams, so they get a break on the fumble, but then a very fast 3 and out. They had the ball for 13 seconds.
Yeah, and the key was missing that first pass. Because if Hundley had hit that first pass, it would have been 2nd and about 3. Come back to the running game, maybe get a drive start. Now you're staring at number 84 again.
Justin Vogel, free agent rookie who won the punting job. He's averaging 46 yards per kick tonight. This is his 4th punt. Brown calls for and makes the fair catch at the 22-yard line. And another flag here. That flag is at the 43 of Pittsburgh. And Hockley and company will render the verdict.
Le'Veon Bell saying thank you very much, guys, for saving me on that one. It's like
I think there are 2 fouls on this play.
It's like a face mask against Green Bay in the personal foul type, obviously.
During the punt, personal foul, face mask by the kicking team, number 27. That's a 15-yard penalty. Pittsburgh has chosen to replay 4th down.
All right, so just 1 foul.
Yeah, and I love the decision to make them re-kick. Now you send that punt team out there again. They're a little winded after chasing him the first time, and any kind of a line drive kick that Brown can return, it's going to be interesting.
All right, so next Sunday night off we go to Seattle. The Philadelphia Eagles, smoking hot. Win again today, rout Chicago against the Seattle Seahawks. Eagles, Seahawks. Next Sunday night, our coverage starts football night in America at 7 Eastern time. So the line of scrimmage now goes back to the 19. Vogel to Brown. He calls for and makes the fair catch this time at the 32-yard line. A couple of minutes into the 4th in a tie game. Sunday Night Football brought to you by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. By Kohl's. Give joy, get joy. By Samsung. And by Sprint. Works for me. Well, the Steelers, Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, local law enforcement combined to provide a complete Thanksgiving dinner for over 600 families in the Pittsburgh area this week. Art Rooney II, president of the Pittsburgh Steelers, son of the late Dan Rooney, looking on as his team has the ball at the 32-yard line, and Demarius Randall is back in for Green Bay. Roethlisberger's had a ton of time tonight, but finally he's going to run out of time here as the secondary does its job. Mike Daniels gets to him, and that's the first sack of the night for Green Bay.
Well, you could start either end. We can start with the protection, which was absolutely perfect. 3 seconds is all any quarterback's going to get, and you see really nobody open down the field. So Ben tries to move around and make a play, and finally it breaks down. And defensively, the first sack of the game now And no surprise, Mike Daniels the one that got it.
Roethlisberger barely touched to this point. Second down and 20. Four-man rush, dumps it off to Bell. And Bell gets it out to the 36-yard line. Didn't look like there was a lot there. And the next thing you know, before Martinez is able to knock him down, he gets 14. Turns a 2nd and 20 into a 3rd and 6.
He made 7 yards after he got hit. That was some end to that run right there. There was no juking. He knew he was completely surrounded. Just put his head down, and those yards are huge. Now 3rd and manageable for Ben.
Right. And in this range, they are 4 of 5 on 3rd down tonight. 6 of 10 overall. Showing blitz, but they back off. And then Ben fires over the middle, and it's caught on the run at the 47-yard line by Eli Rogers for a 1st down. So from 2nd and 20 to 3rd and 6, and then a 1st down.
Right here across the formation, just a lot of traffic to try and navigate in there. Of course, you end up with Randall coming in after those cramps. Protection perfect again, and that one took some time. Boy, is that a big conversion after that sack.
Another big 3rd down. 7 of 11 tonight on 3rd down. Inside draw. Bell, and nice tackle there. Boy, that Martinez all over the place. In double figures in tackles tonight. Loss right there of 3, 2nd and 13.
Sometimes you just have to fire your shot against Bell. There he is. There's a little gap, and Martinez just ran through it like a running back would. That's what Bell was looking at, but he saw Martinez coming. That was well done. With a hard count, got him to show a little bit of the coverage. He knows exactly what he has in man coverage here.
2nd and 13, and throws it to Bell in traffic, and Bell is a yard short of the 1st down. From 2nd and 13, he gives him a 3rd down and 1. Fackrell makes the stop.
Yeah, you get the man coverage, so what do? You just dump it out to your guy, get their offensive lineman out here to kick out, and he's going to come back across the grain right there. That hard count, which you can really only do at home, the reason that Ben knew what the coverage was in advance.
Bell has caught 10 tonight for 80 yards and run for 84 more. 3rd and 1, 9.5 to go in regulation. Bell to the outside. Look at those moves. 1st down. Fake King out of half his uniform. Gain of 11.
One of the differences for the Pittsburgh Steelers is how well their wide receivers block in this bunch formation. Not many teams would run at wide receivers and tight ends in that key situation, but they widen the amount of territory that Le'Veon Bell has to work with, and he takes full advantage.
Bell gets a rest for the moment. James Conner, the rookie from the University of Pittsburgh, is in there with a chip block. Down the sideline, caught on the run by Antonio Brown. Touchdown. 33 yards to give the Steelers the lead.
Just cover 2 on the outside, roll up, but House makes the mistake of letting Antonio Brown get outside of him against that 2-deep defense, which does not give Morgan Burnett a chance to get there. You could see Ben, he knew where he wanted to go all the way. He was kind of looking down the middle, but in his heart, he knew he was going to fire that shot out to the main man. Impressive.
That's 119 yards receiving for Brown. 80 for Bell. The Killer Bees, Ben, Brown, and Bell buzzing again. Extra point is good. 8:42 remaining. 28-21 Pittsburgh. Tough to keep these guys down. They come off a game a week ago Thursday against Tennessee where they put up 40. Brown had a tremendous night. 10 receptions for 144. Tonight 7 for 119. The kick is returnable from the goal line. Trevor Davis looks for room and brings it back out to the 24-yard line. The new rendition, the new version of the Killer Bees. Here's Ben's numbers. Good night. Again, 4 touchdown passes. Bell has just been tremendous. 95 yards on the ground, 80 through the air, and Brown is Brown.
Brown is Brown. 3 touchdowns the first 9 games of the season, 5 in the last 2. He has simply taken over when his team needed it most. Stars being stars tonight, including Cameron Hayward on the defensive side.
Leading rusher in the league, leading receiver in the league, and those guys look like it. All right. What do the Packers have left here from the 23-yard line? And a pass over the middle is caught, and to the 48-yard line goes Richard Rodgers for a first down, getting it out almost to midfield. That's a gain of 25 yards.
How about Hundley? He got that slot blitz that's been giving him so many problems. Hundley saw it this time. Just got the ball out of his hands. There you go. That's what Aaron Rodgers would have done with that one. Nicely done.
First down, 48-yard line. 8 minutes remaining in regulation. Bunch 3 receivers to the right side. Fake it to Williams. Throw on the move. Caught by Cobb, and Randall Cobb has a first down, getting the ball into Pittsburgh territory, out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Hilton makes the tackle.
Nicely done that time by Hundley. Looked like Aaron Rodgers escaping on that one. He looked like he was going to get hit in the backfield. They're playing this bootleg really hard. Hundley had just enough of a move to get away.
Got away from Bud Dupree. Halfway through the quarter as Rodgers looks on. And the understudy with the first down at the 40-yard line. On the ground now, Williams, gain of 1. Jamal Williams to the 39-yard line. Dupree there for the tackle, second down and 9.
Yeah, they put in an extra offensive lineman for that one. Now bringing the receivers back. Very quiet night for Jordy Nelson. There's Keith Butler, second leading tackler in the history of the Seattle Seahawks, coordinating the Steelers defense.
So Jordy Nelson lining up. He's caught 1 pass tonight for 2 yards. And second and 9 over the middle, and that is caught by Devontae Adams, who gets it to the 27-yard line. So the Packers responding after taking the ball at their own 23-yard line.
Once he sees the middle linebacker dropping straight back to the middle of the field, fired out to his favorite target, Devontae Adams. And boy, I tell you, the difference between Brett Hundley tonight and his decision making and a week ago, this has been some training session by this coaching staff and Aaron Rodgers.
Massive. Quick throw to the outside. Nelson makes the catch. Breaks a tackle or 2. Picks up 7. Sean Davis makes the stop. Second down and 3.
All right. A little flavor. Remember some of these quarterbacks, both feet on the ground, just over the head of Watt, and they all do it in Green Bay. It works. Maybe everybody should do it.
Might be the uniform.
Might be the uniform. Never know. Look at that.
Great sequence there. Second down and 3. Inside handoff. Williams to the 18, setting up a very big third down. 3rd and 1, 5.5 to go. Line of scrimmage will be the 18-yard line.
You know, Al, I just don't think you can give the ball back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their offense on a bit of a roll, your secondary banged up. I think you're playing this one all the way to the end zone no matter what happens here.
Could be 4 down. I agree with you. Ulrich John comes in. Extra lineman here. Heavy on the right side. 3rd and 1. And they flip it to the left side to Nelson, and he thrusts forward and should have the first down, and does. Jordy Nelson knowing exactly where he had to go. Artie Burns makes the tackle, moves the chains.
Well, this is one of those run-pass options, and the minute Jordy Nelson had off coverage against Artie Burns, and he's going to stretch and pick up the first down. It's amazing in this game played on a 120-yard field, how many times inches decide games. 4
first downs on this drive. Started back at the 23. They're at the 16 now. Williams, and he's going to get taken down in the backfield. Hilton is there. Tuitt as well. Tuitt got him first. It'll be second down.
Stephon Tuitt, the other half of Batman and Robin inside at that defensive tackle position. They tried to go with a slow developing play, but this is not a slow developing defense. They're on the attack.
Under 4 to go. Cobb comes out of the backfield now to the slot. 2nd and 12. Huntley throwing down the sideline, pushing and shoving, and Adams looking around for a flag. Covered there by Artie Burns. 3rd down.
They really made it look like it was an all-out blitz, but it wasn't. They ran a free safety to the middle of the field. If anything, that was offensive pass interference.
And not catchable on top of it. So it's 3rd down and 12. Crowd in full throat. Hundley off the fake, hits Cobb. Cobb to the 11-yard line. I'm with you now on 4th down. You got to go for it. 4th and 5. Clock running down. 3:15. Whistles from Hockley, and you've got Ryan Shazier, who's on a knee. There he is. Needs some attention getting off the field, so that's why you had the stoppage here as the great linebacker hobbles off.
And that is truly significant for this defense. This defense is built around his speed, and there's not anybody that can replace that speed. Now here in a 4th down and 5 or 6 situation, now you probably bring other people in. Now they're going to bring in Tyler Matakevich. Well, now that brings open the possibility in my mind. You have to look inside at some tight end possibilities, thrown to your back. I want to find the new guy who's been sitting over on the sideline, number 44, and see if I can take advantage. They may counter with sending him on a blitz.
So 4th and 6 at the 12. Wind the clock. 3 minutes.
Boy, this smells like pressure coming here.
Looks like it. Matakevich looks like he's ready to blitz, but he doesn't. He goes back into coverage, and you've got a whistle here before the snap. And Green Bay
timeout. Green Bay
used a timeout.
Al, they knew they were dead.
Yep.
They saw what I saw. They saw the pressure. It was a slot blitz. It was an overload to the right, and they did not have it protected. They're in an empty backfield, and they knew they were hanging Brett Hundley out the drive, and they called the timeout in advance of that. So that was won that time by Keith Butler before the snap ever happened.
McCarthy called it from the sideline. That's their 2nd timeout. And it's 4th down and 6.
And that really hurts, that 2nd timeout. You have the 2-minute warning, 1 timeout. But boy, it would have been nice to have that one in your hip pocket. But 4th down, you have no choice. You have to get the right play call.
Empty the backfield. Go with 5 receivers. Throwing, caught. It's going to be a 1st and goal. Devontae Adams makes the catch. 5 catches for him tonight for 82 yards and a touchdown. 2.5 now, and 1st and goal.
In and out, back to the outside. That time working against William Gay, and I think there's been a changing of the guard in Green Bay. The number 1 receiver right now is Davante Adams, and it showed there.
Certainly for Hundley it is. Taking down toward the 2-minute warning. From the 4, inside draw, Williams dives, and he is in for the touchdown. Jamal Williams on his 20th carry of the night, and the rookie puts it in. An extra point away now from tying the game.
Hard inside stunt here, and watch Spriggs, the new right tackle, just drive Bud Dupree right down inside. Beautifully done. And now they're going to go for one. I wondered whether or not McCarthy might consider going for 2 in this situation and going for the win.
Ooh, such a letdown. Well,
a lot of time left.
Yeah, 2:02 left. So Roethlisberger's going to get the ball. And the game is tied. What a drive. They had 6 first downs on the drive. 12 plays, 4 runs, 8 passes, 28-28 on Sunday Night Football. There's your action. Thursday Night Football from Texas. It's the Redskins, it's the Cowboys. 2 teams hanging on to playoff hopes. Big game for both. Thursday Night Football right here on NBC. And that'll be taken in the end zone by Martavis Bryant. And Roethlisberger and company will start from the 20-yard line and be able to run 1 play before we go to the 2-minute warning.
Boy, how good was that drive by Brett Hundley? They had 5 yards rushing, 4 of those coming on the touchdown, and 72 yards through the air from that young man who looks as cool as he can possibly be over there. So impressive.
Williams took it in. 6 first downs on that drive, 6 of their 15 tonight. And now Roethlisberger goes to work. Pittsburgh has all 3 timeouts. Man over the middle. 6-yard gain, hits Eli Rogers, tackled by Burnett. And with 1:58, we have the 2-minute warning. 28-28 in the Berg. Right after the game, Volkswagen post-game report. Michelle Tafoya interviewing the stars of the game. Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, Mike Florio wrapping up the day. Chris and I a look ahead to next Sunday's game between Philadelphia and Seattle.
Let's see if Green Bay gets back to that man coverage they started the game with. You do not want Ben Roethlisberger to bleed you down the field slowly and kick a field goal and get out of here.
2nd and 4. Roethlisberger throws, and that's caught. There's Brown. Off to the races he goes to the 45, but a flag is thrown. Would be a first down for the moment.
There was definitely some grabbing and holding and picking and
on every play.
Yeah, it's called football, right?
Right. Defense against the Packers. Just decline, take the play. The play was good for 13 yards and a first down to the 44.
Yeah, Martinez is going to end up holding Jesse James here. Doesn't matter. Now.
Right.
A lot of pressure on Kevin King, the young rookie out here on Antonio Brown.
2nd round pick out of Washington. Roethlisberger looks the other way, then goes over the middle, and that's caught by Bell. And Le'Veon Bell will pick up a first down before he slides out of bounds, chased by Josh Hawkins. First down.
Yeah, you get double coverage on Antonio Brown out here. Going to help. You can't blame him. He's eating you alive. And then Morgan Burnett's going to get picked, rubbed, whatever you want to call it, inside, trying to cover Le'Veon Bell. A lot of weapons to try and defend.
It's 11 catches for Bell tonight, the most receptions in any one game in his career, to the 46-yard line now. Roethlisberger throwing one-handed and not caught. Martavis Bryant trying to make a circus catch. Covered there by King. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to take Dom Capers long. He wasn't going to just sit back. That time they came with a lot of pressure, put a lot of heat on the back end coverage guys. But you almost have to. Otherwise, he just checks the thing down to Le'Veon Bell and rocks you to sleep.
Minute 38. Roethlisberger, the sideline, and Brown can't hold that one in. Covered on the play by Josh Hawkins. So 3rd down and 10.
I mean, this was almost one of those crazy catches that he makes, just can't haul it in. And Al, there aren't many times that sometimes a season can come down to a play, but for the Green Bay Packers, they need this stop right here.
Pretty close. Ball to 46. Hawkins covering Antonio Brown. You got Bryant now coming to the inside in motion. Roethlisberger. Good protection again. Deep downfield. Tipped and incomplete. Eli Rogers, the intended receiver. Randall is there, so they hold him, and it's 4th down, and the Steelers have to punt.
Would have been interesting. He had Antonio Brown coming across the formation. Some picks, some rubs, all that stuff in there. Covered up a little bit on the back end by Josh Jones, and then there it was, Demarius Randall, cramps and all, making a huge, huge play for the Packers.
Bury to punt. Nose down kick and a very short one, and a fair catch call for by Trevor Davis at the 18-yard line. Quarterback comparison tonight. You got the veteran Roethlisberger, maybe headed to the Hall of Fame. You got Brett Hundley taking over as the apprentice for Rodgers and holding his own. A 135 rating for Hundley tonight. 3 touchdowns. Ben with 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. What a game.
Yeah, and I can't help but think back to situations like this. Is one you say maybe they're happy going to overtime, whatever. But Tom Brady back in the Super Bowl when he was a very young quarterback, you give him some nice, easy throws, some check downs, maybe a draw, maybe a screen, something. And if the drive gets started, then you let him go. You let Hundley take a shot.
See Shazier limped off before. He's back in the game, number 50. Go 5 wide here. Hundley under pressure. Look out from behind. Look out from ahead. And down he goes to the 12-yard line. T.J. Watt, with some help from his friends, will get the sack.
T.J. Watt came from coverage to get that sack. You aren't going to believe this. Watch him drop back, and then he reads it. The quarterback starts to move, and he comes up and gets the sack.
Sense trouble. Looked like almost helmet to helmet there. That could have been called. 6-yard sack. Hundley's gone down 4 times in the half. 2nd and 16. Dumps it off to Jamal Williams. And he gets out of bounds at the 15.
Oh, boy.
With 32 seconds.
You know, I was wondering if Tomlin was going to take the timeout after that sack. And he certainly would have after that play. But by going out of bounds, now you have given a bunch of chips here, possibly back to Tomlin if they can make this hold.
3rd and 13. Clearly, if they don't make a first down and stay in bounds, Tomlin would take the timeout. Incomplete pass obviously would stop the clock with maybe 25 seconds. Give Pittsburgh one more chance. 3rd and 13. They're going to keep it on the ground and play it safe and look for overtime as they get into the 19. Shazier makes the tackle. Pittsburgh takes a timeout. So they'll get one more shot after the punt.
Boy, they caught a huge break and a big mistake by the Green Bay Packers going out of bounds on that prior play. A big difference in this game right now with Pittsburgh and Ben Roethlisberger with 2 timeouts to work with. It just opens up the whole field. You know, with 1 timeout, you make a play in the middle of the field, you have to call a timeout. Now you have to work the boundaries. But for consecutive plays now, Ben Roethlisberger will be able to work anywhere on the field with those 2 timeouts.
And you're looking at a ballpark, as we mentioned a couple of times tonight, hardest place to kick a field goal. So what are you looking at? You're looking at maybe getting to the 33 of Green Bay. Let's see what happens first after the punt here. Vogel's kick. Brown drips over, calls it into the 28-yard line, and gets tackled at the 29 by Davis. 17 ticks remaining.
Let's go back to this shot by Watt and helmet-to-helmet contact. It's one of those they can call. Did not. And it's going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers an opportunity.
So Roethlisberger can use the middle of the field, has the timeouts. Time for maybe a couple of plays, 2, let's say, before, if they get some into field goal range, they bring in Boswell to try to win it.
I go back to the Indy game, and in this situation, they hit Martavis Bryant on a crossing route, and he took off and ran with it for a big play.
Roethlisberger dancing, throws to the sideline, and the catch is made, and they're going to call it as they review it themselves, the 2 of them. One guy says yes. Not sure the down judge was necessarily in agreement, but for the moment, Brown tries to scrape that right foot. Left foot is in. Does he have control of the ball?
My goodness, I think he did it. That back foot was dragging the ball. Let's make sure as he goes to the ground. How much of it can we see? If he holds on to this ball,
the ruling on the field.
We got to watch it all the way down. You know how the rule goes.
Inside 2 minutes, everything goes to replay in New York.
I think that is one of the most brilliant plays I've seen in a very long time. I think he has it.
I don't think there's enough to overturn it, so it probably will stand. They're still not in field goal range. The ball's at the 45, but he has 11 seconds.
Now you can't watch the right foot now. You have to watch it as it was dragging the ground. He was clearly kicking up dirt and grass with that back foot, and I think he caught it so cleanly that that foot was still on the ground. Let's watch catch. Is he still dragging his foot? You can't necessarily see it from there, but
I don't see him overturning it.
I don't either. I mean, there's clearly not.
He's in there.
That is so good.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It really is. Hockley ready to tell us eventually that it's a catch.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It was a completion. First down.
Pardon me while I clap my hands a little bit for that one.
Go to Michelle quickly.
Wow.
Well, Chris Boswell in the pregame kicked a 51-yarder in this direction. Remember, he missed the extra point on Pittsburgh's first touchdown, but he has not missed a field goal at home this season, Al.
And Michelle, I noticed the wind has picked up. It was a windless night, but the breeze is blowing right now. You can see the flags at the top of the goalposts. Or there they are. That's Brown's 8th first down catch tonight. 8 for first down. And 9 total, 157 yards.
It may be tough to get off 2 plays at this point. You have to kind of plan this out like this one has to get you in field goal range. You may get a second, but you can't be sure.
I'm sorry, we forgot to reset the clock. 13 seconds should
That
be on
helps.
the clock. 13 seconds on the
Yeah.
clock.
That changes the strategy. Now you will, in all likelihood, get a second play with 2 timeouts.
McCarthy says, where'd those 2 seconds come from? Roethlisberger out of the shotgun. Here come the Packers. Put the heat on it. Pass to the outside. Caught. Out of bounds goes Brown, but a flag is down. He's out of bounds at the 33-yard line. So gain of 14. That would put him in field goal range.
They tried to talk Ben out of that one. They showed double coverage pre-snap. Right here, they show double coverage. They come out of it. They bring the blitz the opposite side. Ben knew exactly what he's going to do with the ball once he saw the single coverage.
Flag got picked up. There's no foul. The ball is at the 33-yard line. Right now, you're looking at a 51-yard field goal. 9 seconds.
I'll bet you they run Bell or throw it to him.
Roethlisberger, well, he's going to throw it to him, and then he's going to be down at the 35-yard line. So they wind up losing a couple of yards. They have to take a timeout, and now
it's a 30-second
Boswell is going to have to come in and kick about a 53-yarder to win the game.
You know what, Al? I'm going to guess Le'Veon Bell was told after the catch, you guys have to get down. Because if Le'Veon Bell had made one person miss there and been running up the field, the clock would have run out.
This would tie the longest field goal ever kicked in this building, which is now in its 17th season. Would tie Dan Bailey's mark. Cowboy kicked one last year. Ockley.
That's their third and final. It's a 30-second
Signals
timeout.
that Green Bay takes a timeout. Their third and final.
Boy, we were thinking what this game could have been if Aaron Rodgers were playing in it. As great as Aaron Rodgers is, I don't know that he would have outplayed what we've seen from Brett Hundley tonight.
Now, this has been a terrific game. Might be number one on the Sunday night schedule this year in terms of drama.
No question. It may or may not be over here.
So Boswell from 53, Jordan Berry to put it down.
Now you want pressure up the middle here because typically these have to be low driving kicks. Chance to block it.
Candidate to snap it. And Boswell's kick is good to win the game. I mean, what can you say? You miss an extra point, and then you make a 53-yarder in Pittsburgh. 6 straight wins for the Steelers. What a gut-wrenching loss for the Packers. Man, oh man. Name your number one highlight of the night. You got a bunch to choose from. Made it by plenty. And McCarthy leaves his hometown with a loss. Mike Tomlin picks up another win. The Steelers with a mark of 9-2. But what a night for that guy, Hundley. Roethlisberger, another 4-touchdown night. In a drama-packed game, and Aaron Rodgers can only look on. Coming up next, it will be the Volkswagen post-game report right after these messages from your NBC station.